People think invention means something appeared out of nowhere. A genius in a lab, a lightning bolt of inspiration, a date in a textbook. But that is almost never how it works. Most of the things we call inventions already existed in some form, decades, sometimes centuries before someone put a name on them and took the credit. People had plastic surgery before anesthesia. They had computers before electricity. They had flamethrowers before gunpowder reached Europe. They had batteries before anyone understood what electricity was. The history of invention is not a history of creation. It is a history of renaming things that were already there. Today, we count down 10 things people used long before they were officially invented. Some will surprise you. Some will make you uncomfortable. And at least one will make you wonder what we are using right now that the future will claim it invented. Let's begin. Number 10. Plastic surgery. Most people assume plastic surgery is modern, a luxury of the 20th century. Silicone, anesthesia, sterile rooms, vanity. But reconstructive surgery existed in ancient India around 600 BCE. A physician named Sushruta documented rhinoplasty, rebuilding noses using skin grafted from the forehead. He described the tools, the technique, the stitching, the healing process. Why noses specifically? Because in ancient India, cutting off the nose was a common punishment for adultery and criminal offense. Losing a nose meant wearing your crime on your face for life. So, there was demand. And where there is demand, someone figures out a solution. Sushruta did not have anesthesia. He did not have antibiotics. He had wine to dull pain and precise knowledge of flesh. His techniques were passed down for centuries and eventually reached Europe through Arabic medical texts during the Renaissance. By the time Western medicine claimed to invent plastic surgery, the procedure was already older than most European nations. The invention was not the surgery. The invention was the paperwork. Number 9. Flamethrowers. The modern flamethrower was patented in 1901 by a German engineer named Richard Fiedler. But the concept of weaponized fire projected at enemies existed more than 1,000 years earlier. In the 7th century, the Byzantine Empire deployed Greek fire, a liquid substance that could be sprayed at enemy ships through pressurized siphons. It burned on water. It stuck to surfaces. It could not be extinguished by conventional means. Naval battles were decided by it. Sieges were broken by it. Entire fleets were destroyed. And the exact formula was kept so secret that it was eventually lost to history. We still do not know precisely what it was. Some researchers suggest a mixture of naphtha, quickite, sulfur, and pine resin. Others argue it included calcium phosphide, which ignites on contact with water. The Byzantines did not call it a flamethrower. They did not patent it. They did not write a press release. They just burned ships and won empires. The modern version added a fuel tank and a trigger. But the idea of pointing fire at your enemy and watching him run is as old as war itself. Number 8. Analog computers. When people hear computer, they think screens, chips, silicon, electricity. But a computer, at its core, is a machine that computes. It takes input, processes it, and gives output. By that definition, the first known computer is over 2,000 years old. The Antikythera mechanism, pulled from a Roman-era shipwreck off the coast of Greece in 1901, is a bronze device with at least 30 interlocking gears. It predicted solar and lunar eclipses, tracked the positions of the 5 known planets, and calculated the dates of the Olympic Games. It was built around 150 to 100 BCE. Nothing of comparable complexity would appear again in Europe for over 1,000 years. When it was first recovered, researchers assumed it was too advanced to be ancient. Some refused to believe it. It contradicted the comfortable narrative that technology progresses in a clean, forward line. But the gears do not care about narratives. They work. They computed. Someone in the ancient world designed, machined, and assembled a portable astronomical calculator with precision that would not be matched until medieval clockwork. We do not know the inventor's name. We do not know how many were made. We just know one survived at the bottom of the sea, waiting 2,000 years to embarrass the timeline. Number 7. Batteries. In 1800, Alessandro Volta built the voltaic pile, the first modern battery. He is credited with the invention. The unit of electrical potential, the volt, carries his name. But in 1938, a German archaeologist named Wilhelm König found something strange near Baghdad. A small clay jar, inside it a copper cylinder, inside that an iron rod. The components were separated in a way that, if filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or wine, would produce a small electrical charge. It is known as the Baghdad Battery. It dates to somewhere between 250 BCE and 224 CE during the Parthian or Sassanid period. What was it used for? No one is certain. Some suggest electroplating, coating silver objects with a thin layer of gold. Others say it was ceremonial, or that the arrangement is coincidental. But replicas have been built, and they produce voltage. The debate is not whether it could work. The debate is whether anyone intended it to. And that is the uncomfortable line that runs through this entire list. We define invention by intention and documentation. If no one wrote it down in a way we recognize, it does not count. The jar does not care whether it counts. It just sits there, holding a charge and a question. Number 6. Seismoscopes. In 132 CE, a Chinese polymath named Zhang Heng built a device to detect earthquakes. It was a large bronze vessel, about 2 meters in diameter, decorated with 8 dragons facing 8 directions. Each dragon held a bronze ball in its mouth. Below each dragon sat a bronze toad with its mouth open. When seismic waves reached the device, an internal pendulum mechanism would shift, releasing the ball from the dragon facing the direction of the earthquake. The ball would drop into the toad's mouth with a clang. It reportedly detected an earthquake roughly 500 kilometers away, in a region where no messenger had yet arrived with the news. This was not folklore. It was documented by court historians. Zhang Heng was the royal astronomer. His device was an instrument of governance, not curiosity. The modern seismograph was developed in the 1880s in Europe. That is a gap of over 1,700 years. Zhang Heng did not have electronics. He did not have data readouts. He had bronze, gravity, and a mechanical intuition that the Earth moves in patterns before we feel it. The dragons told the truth before the messengers arrived. Number 5. Vending machines. The first modern vending machine appeared in 1883 in London, dispensing postcards. But the concept dates back to 1st century Alexandria. Hero of Alexandria, one of the most prolific engineers of the ancient world, designed a coin-operated device that dispensed holy water in Egyptian temples. A coin was dropped into a slot. It landed on a small metal lever. The weight of the coin tilted the lever, which briefly opened a valve. A measured amount of water flowed out. Then the coin slid off, the lever returned, and the valve closed. It was elegant, mechanical, and self-regulating. The purpose was practical. Temples had a problem. People were taking more holy water than they paid for. The machine enforced fairness without needing a priest to stand guard. So the first vending machine in history was built to solve the same problem vending machines solve today. People take what they do not pay for, unless a machine stops them. Hero also designed automatic doors for temples, powered by steam and counterweights. Visitors saw the doors open as if by divine will. Behind the scenes, it was fire, water, and engineering. The gods worked because an engineer made them work. Number 4. Robots and automata. In 1495, Leonardo da Vinci designed a mechanical knight. It could stand, sit, raise its visor, and move its arms independently. It was powered by a system of pulleys, cables, and gears inside a suit of armor. Most historians consider this one of the first documented robots, but automated human-like machines go back much further. In the 3rd century BCE, ancient Chinese texts describe an encounter between King Mu of Zhou and a craftsman named Yan Shi, who presented the king with a life-sized mechanical figure that could walk, sing, and move its head. The king was impressed until the figure winked at one of his concubines. He nearly had Yan Shi executed before the craftsman disassembled the figure to prove it was made of leather, wood, and lacquer. In medieval Baghdad, the engineer Al-Jazari built programmable automata in the 12th century, a musical band of robots that floated on a boat and played different instruments. They were powered by water, pegged cylinders, and cam mechanisms. The cylinder's pegs determined the sequence. Change the pegs, change the music. That is programming. On wood, in water, 800 years before a punch card. The word robot was coined in 1920 by a Czech playwright, but the dream of building a human that is not human is older than most religions. Number 3. Central heating. Central heating feels modern. Radiators, boilers, thermostats, insulated pipes. But the Romans had it figured out over 2,000 years ago. The system was called a Hypocaust. Floors were raised on stacks of tile pillars, creating a gap underneath. A furnace burned wood at one end, and hot air flowed beneath the floor and up through hollow walls called tubuli. The entire room was heated evenly. The floor was warm, the walls were warm. No smoke entered the living space. It was standard in Roman bathhouses, but wealthy private homes had it too. Some villas in Britain, at the far edge of the empire, had Hypocaust systems that still survive in archaeological remains. When Rome fell, the technology was not replaced, it was forgotten. For over 1,000 years, Europeans went back to sitting around open fires in the middle of rooms, breathing smoke, and losing heat through holes in the roof. Central heating was not reinvented until the 18th and 19th centuries. That is not progress pausing, that is progress reversing. A technology that worked was abandoned, not because something better replaced it, but because the civilization that understood it collapsed. Knowledge does not survive on its own. It needs a society willing to carry it. Number 2. Ancient concrete. Modern Portland cement was patented in 1824. It is the basis of almost every concrete structure on Earth. But Roman concrete, Opus Caementicium, was developed around the 3rd century BCE. And in some ways, it was better. The Pantheon in Rome, built in 125 CE, has the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. It has stood for nearly 2,000 years. No rebar, no modern additives, just volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. Roman harbor structures submerged in salt water have not only survived, they have gotten stronger over time. Seawater reacted with the volcanic ash to form aluminum toit crystals within the concrete, actually reinforcing it at the molecular level. Modern concrete cracks in seawater within decades. Roman concrete improved in it over centuries. The recipe was documented by Vitruvius in the 1st century BCE. When Rome fell, the knowledge was not destroyed. It was simply no longer used. Medieval builders switched to cut stone and mortar. The formula sat in libraries, ignored, until modern engineers started wondering why ancient Roman docks were still standing while modern ones were crumbling. We did not surpass Roman concrete. We just forgot it and started over with something that does not last as long. Number 1. Steam power. James Watt patented his improved steam engine in 1769. The Industrial Revolution followed. But the first known steam-powered device was built by Hero of Alexandria around the 1st century CE, the same engineer who built the vending machine. He called it the Aeolipile. A sealed cauldron of water was heated. Steam traveled through pipes into a hollow sphere mounted on an axis. 2 bent nozzles on the sphere released the steam, and the sphere spun. It was a working steam turbine. 17 centuries before the Industrial Revolution. Hero documented it. It was not a legend. It was not a sketch. It was built, demonstrated, and described in technical detail. So, why did it not change the world? Because the Roman economy ran on slave labor. There was no economic pressure to replace human muscles with machines. Steam power solved a problem that the ruling class did not consider a problem. The technology existed. The need did not, or rather, the need existed for the slaves, but they were not the ones making decisions. And that may be the most important lesson on this entire list. Invention is not about discovery. It is about power. A technology exists when someone powerful enough decides it is useful. Everything else just waits. 10 things, all used before they were officially born. Some by centuries, some by millennia. And every single one challenges the same comfortable myth that history is a clean line moving forward, where each generation knows more than the last and builds on what came before. It is not. Knowledge is not a ratchet. It can turn backward. It can be forgotten, buried, ignored, or deliberately erased because no one in power saw the point in keeping it. Rome heated its floors and poured concrete that outlasts ours. Alexandria had steam turbines and vending machines. Baghdad had programmable robots. China detected earthquakes 1,700 years before Europe. None of it mattered until someone with authority rediscovered it and stamped a date on it. So the next time someone says something was invented in a particular year, ask a better question. Invented or just finally given credit? Because somewhere, right now, someone is using something that the future will claim it created. Stay satisfying, and stay for the next dark chapter.